My name is Jazmin.Randall, and I'm a real estate advisor with ENGEL, Slidell, Mandeville. I am licensed in Louisiana, and I'm here to help with all of your real estate needs. Welcome to part 4 of the First Time Homebuyer Tips. This is the last part to the series, and in this part, we're going to go through the home buying process from beginning to end. In parts 1, 2, and 3, I gave you some tips on what you can do to get ready to purchase that home, things you can do before the process gets started, like saving, monitoring your credit, and browsing different neighborhoods. So let's get right into part 4. All right. The first thing you're going to do when you're ready to purchase is give me a call. Once you give me a call, we'll sit down for a buyer's consultation. In the buyer's consultation, I'll get your wants and needs, as well as any questions you may have. We'll sit down and put together a detailed plan for purchasing. With the buyer's consultation, I can go over some very important documents and information before we get to that step, so you'll know what to expect throughout the process. The most important thing is to go over the Louisiana purchase agreement. I'll go through the agreement, get you familiar with some terms, and let you know what it is you're signing. So you want to be fully prepared when you are shopping and you find that home. Within the buyer's consultation, I will link you with some preferred lenders. You can also use a lender that you know as well. You want to make sure when you are talking to a lender, you have all of your documents together to send to them. Once you send those documents over, the lender will be able to go over budget with you and get specifics on loan types, how much your down payment will be, and an estimate of how much your down payment will be, and an estimate of your closing costs. This is great. So when we do start looking at houses, you'll have an idea of how much you're going to be paying monthly, how much you'll need for closing, as well as how much you'll need for a down payment. Once you have that pre-approval letter, that's when all the fun begins. Now we can shop for homes. The reason the pre-approval letter is needed before you can start to look at homes is because you want to determine your budget and how much the bank will finance you for. With the pre-approval letter, it sets up an expectation for you that's realistic, and it also helps you narrow down that search when you do go to look at homes. As a realtor, we have a system that's set up in place that allows us to see homes as soon as they hit the market. With that system in place, I can send you homes and you can also send me homes. We are allowed to look at for sale by owner homes, homes that are not in that realtor system. What you'll do is if you see a home that is listed for sale by owner, you'll just take a picture of the home and send it to me and I will do the rest. We can also look at homes that are foreclosed or bank owned.
As a first-time homebuyer, you're also allowed to purchase brand new construction. If you're interested, just let me know and we'll set up a time and place to visit some new build communities and visit their model homes. This is something that is going to take a little bit longer than your normal 30-60 day purchase, but it's definitely feasible. And many of the communities have great incentives.
When we start the search to look at homes, you'll start to narrow down some things and must-haves. Let's say you have to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a certain area. We'll narrow that down and view homes that fit your criteria. Once you find the house that you love, we will go ahead and put in an offer. With the market right now, it's very important to already be approved and submitting your documents to your lender, because once you see that house, you may have 3 or 5 other people looking at the same house and they're ready to put in an offer. With that being said, communicate with your realtor. Let them know the things you love, the things you hate about the home. That way they can help you get into something that you love faster. The more we know, the more we can help. So you find that home that you love. Now it's time to put in an offer, and we'll go over the comparables in the area. That means what homes have sold for in the area, what homes are currently on the market for in the area, and we'll compare to come up with an offer number. Once we sign all of your paperwork, which can be done through email, electronic signature, once we submit that offer, you are going to have your earnest money deposit. The earnest money is basically letting the sellers know that you are serious about purchasing this home. It'll be like a good faith deposit. Once we negotiate with the seller and the listing agent, we will come to an agreement and come to terms with the sale price of the home and how long we're going to need to close. So after we negotiate and the contract is accepted, we'll then start the home inspection period. The home inspection period is very important. A great tip would be to always get a home inspection, no matter if you're buying a brand new home or if you're buying a home that has just been recently renovated. The home inspections are for you, to let you know what's going on with that home outside of the pretty paint. The home inspector will go over the home inspection with me and you, and we'll sit down and see what items are deal breakers, what items that are necessary to continue with the sale of the home, and we will negotiate those needs with the seller. It is very important to try to be at your home inspection. I'm your realtor and I'll be at the home inspection the whole time. You'll be able to come as well, or if you'd like to come at the end, the home inspector will go through those items that they saw, and they'll be able to show you how to work certain things. They'll let you know, hey, this is something that is normal maintenance. You'll need to look at maintenance down the line, or if this is something that's safety issue and has to be addressed immediately. After we negotiate the repairs with the seller, we'll then compromise and come to a final agreement. The sellers will either remedy those issues or they'll give us an allowance. If they don't remedy the issues or give us allowance, they can decide not to do anything to the home and sell as is. Within that period, it's called your due diligence inspection period. It's usually between 10 to 15 days, and that's the time you have to iron out all those details with you, the buyer, and the seller. After the inspection period is completed and we do decide to move along with the process, we will then check with your lender, make sure your loan is finalized, you have all your documents turned in, and at that point, the lender will then order an appraisal. So the appraisal is something that has to be done so the bank can make sure they are lending you the correct amount of money. Basically, the appraisal is saying, hey, this house is worth this much, you all can loan that same amount. Let's just say the house is for sale for $150,000. The bank will order an appraisal, which means a person will go out that we don't know. No one has control over who's sent to the home. The bank will order that appraisal, and basically the person will inspect the home and then go back to the bank and say, hey, this home is in fact worth $150,000 or more, or it can be worth less. So in the event that the home is worth less than what it's for sale for, we'll then renegotiate. So it's a great thing to have a good realtor with you, because through the process, they are having your best interest and giving you feedback and insight on what to do. It's not just, hey, I like this house, I want to buy it, let's buy it. You have a whole bunch of different components that go into purchasing a home, and that's why it's a great tip to have a realtor work for you on your behalf, because they're able to negotiate those things and help you along the process. So after the home inspection is done, after the appraisal is ordered, we will then go into underwriting. In the underwriting period, your lender will be in contact with you back and forth, because they are submitting your documents to make sure we have that final loan approval. So just because you have gotten pre-approved, it doesn't mean that you're all set to go. So throughout the process, you want to not use any credit cards, watch your spending, and continue to do those things that you were doing when you were submitting your documents, getting ready to purchase. Because we want to make sure that we can get the keys to the house without any hiccups. That means don't buy any furniture or any cars. Wait until after we get the keys to the home to do all of that. So once the home appraisal is completed and submitted to the bank, home inspections are done, we'll then go ahead and lock in those rates for your homeowner's insurance as well as flood insurance if need be, and any other permits or fees that need to be paid to access any utilities for the home. And different parishes have different inspections that have to be completed as well, with utilities or deposits that have to be paid. And we will get with the lender, submit those things over to them as well, because they are going to need your homeowners and flood insurance quotes, and that will factor into your mortgage. So once all of that is completed, we have everything sent over to the title company. We will then schedule a closing time. The closing time will be based upon both parties, the buyer and seller, and that will take place at the title company. The title company will have the attorney there, and that's where you'll sign all of your documents, at the title company. So 3 days before we go to closing is where you'll get your keys to your home, sign all of your papers, and once we get that clear to close, the lender will send you a closing disclosure. And like I said, that'll be 3 days before we're set to close. This closing disclosure is basically your fine print for all of your financing. It'll have your down payment, closing costs, items, how much everything costs. That's gonna be a breakdown of everything. So you'll have an exact number on how much money you need to bring to closing. This will also be CC'd to the realtor, and I will go through this with you as well if you have any questions or anything you don't understand. This is basically your fine print with your financing. We'll then schedule your final walkthrough. The final walkthrough will basically be the last time we're inside the home before closing. That final walkthrough time will be for us to make sure any repairs that we negotiated on in the inspection period were completed and receipts are provided. Coming to closing, you'll either need certified funds, which will be a cashier's check, or you can wire the funds to the title company. If you are going to wire the funds to the title company, they will give you specific wire instructions right before it's time to close. You'll also need valid identification. Make sure your ID or driver's license is not expired, it's up to date. So, a tip to remember for all of my first-time home buyers is to always communicate with your realtor and lender. Throughout this process, we are going to be like best friends. So make sure you let us know what's going on, as well as if you have any questions. Never be afraid to ask questions. As a realtor, I do this every day, all day, so a lot of things are gonna come second nature to me. But you as a first-time home buyer, you're gonna have questions along the way. Even in that buyer's consultation, we're gonna go over a lot of things, and I'm going to keep you in the loop throughout the process. But if you have any questions or you're confused, make sure you reach out. Never, never, never be too scared to ask a question. With your lender, always be very honest with your lender. Submit documents that they need in a timely fashion as soon as possible, and make sure they're not any pictures. They are going to need a PDF. So just make sure you send in those documents. The faster you send in those things, the faster the process we can get through the process. So before I go, I just wanted to do a quick recap on the out-of-pocket expenses you're going to need. So the first thing is your earnest money or your good faith estimate deposit. This in Louisiana is usually 1% of the purchase price of the home, or $1,000. The next expense is the home inspection. You definitely have to get a home inspection. Within the home inspection, you can get termite inspection, plumbing inspection, and many other different inspections depending on the type of home. This is something that I would strongly advise you not to skip out on. This is something you want to get done because that home inspection is going to reveal the house in its true fashion outside of the beauty of it. It's going to tell you everything that's going on or potentially going wrong, just so you can have a clear mind stepping into that home purchase. You are going to have to do maintenance on a home. You are going to have to get certain things repaired yourself, but it's always good to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And like I said, the home inspections range from between $200 to $600, $500, $600, just depending on the types of home inspections you get. And me as your realtor, I will definitely link you with preferred home inspectors, as well as making sure you're aware of the process and answering any questions you may have as well. The home inspector will be able to answer questions for you as well at the home inspection date and time. Another out-of-pocket cost is going to be for your appraisal. The appraisal usually costs between $400 to $550, just depending on the finance company. The next out-of-pocket expense is going to be your closing costs or down payment. If you're not receiving any down payment assistance or gifts from family, you are going to need to have money set aside to cover those expenses. I always say save as much as possible. So even if you have to come to closing with no money or little money, you still have that cushion for a rainy day, because purchasing a home is an investment, and you want to make sure when you purchase that home, you're doing everything you can to keep that property in great condition. All right, that's it for part 4.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share. And if someone you know is looking to buy their first home, please have them contact me today. I love to help. Don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook at Realtor Jasmine R, Instagram Realtor Jazz Randall, and YouTube, or visit me online at jazmin.randall.evrealestate.com. Have a great day.